best ever.
Nah,
So maybe, and then Christopher is also young. He's 27, Chris.
Yes. 27.
Excellent. Very good ages. You are
So
all young and ambitious, and you will be the best team in Mexico. I'm sure for that.
come
You
on,
are
and
ready,
then
maybe, but you will be even better. You will be like the role models for the Mexican market.
my wife is also so young.
Yeah, I know.
She's like
20, 24, 23?
no, like 25, 26.
25. Okay, let's stick to 25.
Yeah. So, well, we can start. We were only waiting for one guy, but we can start as soon as he can
let's start,
enter.
because we have to finish at 11 tops. Okay, so what we agreed to discuss today is the most challenging topic for the insurance advisors, the prospecting topic. How we can find, the goal is that we must find ways to find more prospects than we need. That's the topic, because if you have more prospects than you need in your production equation, then you can choose with whom you want to work with, and this is great freedom in our profession. If you don't have as many prospects as you need, you will always struggle and you will be anxious and stressed if you will have the production goal and all the stuff. So one of the, in every equation, there is an X factor, like the game. So the X factor in our profession is prospecting, but it's not alone. You cannot prospect without having something to prove that you are the best in order to refer you or recommend you to other people. Or you cannot send messages to social media if you don't have something that is your USP, your unique selling point. So you are different from all the others and you have a reason for the people to hear you. So that's what we can discuss, because there are a lot of ways that we can find prospects, find new prospects, but let's stick to the main ones and the ones with the better results. So if I don't know, you are the youngest, Dioses, can I say that? Dioses, do I say correct? Dioses. Okay, I just
They for the friends.
They it's even even if you know that you have trained for the software and the way we do the job, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if I ask you today, can you prove me that you are the best advisor in Mexico, and why? Can you tell me in 2 minutes why I should trust you and why you are the best advisor in Mexico right now using the software?
Okay, we use a professional software that is developed with a lot of sciences that studied, I don't know how to say in English, el comportamiento humano, Torro?
Human behavior.
The human behavior, and it's about, for example, the difference between us and other companies is that we don't do simple advice in our experience. We do it, of course, but in complement, we use science to can give you all the information that you can plan your life, your financial life and your personal life, that gives you the tools for you can make the right decisions in the point of your lives, for you can reach your goals, your personal goals or your financial goals.
Okay, everybody of the people that I see, they tell me the same. They are professional, they have something. What is your difference specifically? I will make the objections, that the people think. It was great what you said, right? But if I am like another advisors, many other advisors out there, they say we are professionals also. We have science. But how you prove you have a science? You have to give them two things to remember always, all of us. We have to prove what we say. That's the one. And the second, we have to stick to the benefits of the client, not what we do, what are the benefits for them. So always remember that whatever you try to prove something, give them data, why you are different. Are you using a science? What kind of science? General science is okay, but we are the first to use risk management science. What does this mean? This means that we are the first that we can measure the risk. We can tell them the social security benefits. We can prioritize them and they can see that. So that's the benefits specifically. We have an ISO 31000 that proves what we are saying. And also we have a software with 11 global innovation awards. This proves something. So this is like a marketing thing. And what are my benefits? You have to be able to explain to me what are my benefits very quickly. Like everybody in our industry say, I will help you achieve your goals. But we have to make it even better, because if you have discussed, like with Victor, the pitch that we have, the 5-minute pitch, the thing is that the people have to understand that the most valuable asset that they have is their ability to produce income, that they can wake up healthy every morning and go to produce this income. This income is important because it makes me survive. I cannot do anything else. And it gives me the dream lifestyle, so I can live a quality life. So this is the most important thing of my life. I prove that. What I can do for the client for the first time in Mexico is that I can find all the risks for the most important thing of your life. And why is this a benefit? Because again, I'm telling what I'm doing, not what is the benefit. It's important because I don't want, after our meeting, something to happen to you and you say, if I knew that, I might do something. Do you understand the difference? So I control the risks. I might know the risk and I don't want to do anything. That's my choice. But imagine not to know the risk, something happens and you say, if I knew that, I might do something. So after our meeting, there is nothing that you will not know about the risks for the most important thing of your life. Then for the first time in Mexico, nobody else does that. We will measure the risk in a fun and interactive way. In a software with 11 global awards, but it's going to be fun. So you will know what is important, less important, and non-important. So if you want to cover some risks and you don't have the money to cover them all, then you will cover the most important for you especially. And we will tell you also the social security benefits when we have already that. And that's the third thing. So do you think that this is important for you in order to sit down 30 minutes and interact and have all this important information? I'm telling you again the pitch, you can make it shorter or bigger or whatever. But remember, you are the best advisors in Mexico, and you will be the best for these reasons. That it's not that you're advising only, because some other people, they will say that we are advising people, but you have a science that is proven, a science with ISO 31000, a science with 11 awards, global awards software, that you will see that. I'm not just saying you that you will not see that I will do something magic. We will do it together and you will understand. And the benefits is that for the most important thing of your life, we will find the risks, we will prioritize them, quantify them, and I will tell you what your social security benefits are, and then you will know. And if we find that there is a problem, then we might see if insurance is a solution. Is it clear for everybody this?
Yes. Super.
You will have this presentation recorded, as we said, but also in the very soon period, we will make a role playing how you can pitch the idea to a person, like in a 2 minutes discussion, how you can make the 5 minutes pitch when you are in the appointment, and how you can also, and that's why I have to connect that with prospecting. If you believe that you are the best, if you can prove that you are giving added value to the client with information that give you, then you have two things. You have the self-confidence to propose for referrals, and I will tell you again the right way, just to agree that it's the best way. And also the client wants to give referrals because he understands the value. If you are just selling products, and because you are a good guy, he wants to promote you to other people to sell, this is not very powerful, because most people, they don't want to promote a seller. But if I have something, let's say, hey, if I give you,
Alejandro,
somebody's making a bath. No.
Lord Baño. Yeah.
Okay. Yes,
Okay.
Lord of the Baño. If I give you, like, to Christopher or to Lord, to Lady Plata, or to Day, if I give you $100, if I give you like 30 or 3 or 5, then it doesn't matter. 3 $100 checks with money that they can use it somewhere. And I give you 3 checks, and I tell you cannot use it, but you have to use it to the people you love. Do you have any hesitation to give these checks to the other people? Or you will give it with joy? You'll say, here, I have $100 check for you and I can offer to you. Would you say that?
Yes.
Yeah, because why you will not have like any second thoughts? Because you are thinking that you are giving something very valuable for them, and you said, "No, I am offering this to you," right? So it's the same with the software. When you make the first presentation to him, and he understands now that the most important thing, and we prove it by numbers, it's his ability to produce income. When he sees that he have to control the risks, when he sees that he have the prioritization, when he sees that he have the quantification, when he sees that we have the social security benefits, and we give him this diagnosis, we have to make him admit that what we made together is useful and necessary for him to know in order to be able to make or not to make decision about this critical matter. That's the thing that we have to make him admit. And this comes from the ability of you every day to make better and better the use of the software and the methodology and the questions, that you reach to a point when you go to the conclusion and they see the priorities, that you will make them admit that something useful and mostly necessary. Are we okay so far? Okay.
Yes.
If now you don't have to fake it, because you have to believe it with all your heart, because it's not what you are saying only, it's how you feel what you are saying and how you are saying something. So if you say something, so do you believe that it's useful and necessary? Okay, can you give me some referrals? You don't have passion. You have to have passion. You have to have enthusiasm. You have to believe on that. And the other thing is not only to fake the passion, to be true, the true passion. So you have first to believe and remember every morning that what we are doing for the clients is the most important thing, and they don't know it. We are their educators. We are their coaches for the life. We are like the people that they will help them to have a no surprises strategy in life. That's what we do. So we are very important. They don't know yet. They have a bad image for us yet. But when they see what we have as IFAs, then they will change the opinion. Are you with me on that? So you have to boost yourself every morning. You have to believe that you are offering something very important. And what is this? The consciousness that they have something, the clients, that is the most important thing, but they don't recognize it every day, because all the people, we are waking up and run to our jobs, to our problems, to whatever, and we don't recognize that we must be grateful that another day we wake up healthy and we can go out to produce this income that will give us the financial survival and our lifestyle of our dreams lifetime. We don't recognize that every day. We forget that. So I'm here to remind you and to prove you that your ability to produce income is a blessing. It is your biggest asset. Now, your biggest asset has some risks. I am the guy that I will tell you all the risks that we have. We will prioritize them, quantify them, and you will know if you can handle this risk or not for the most important thing of your life. So now that you know the risks, you are in a position to make the best decision, if you want, but you know. It's like, I'm not feeling very well today, but I don't know what I have and I'm stressed. If I go to a doctor, he make a diagnosis to me, he gives me the diagnosis, and now I know what I have and what I can do. Is this very important for me? Because I can solve this problem. But again, I don't feel well. I go to the doctor. He tells me that I have a lung problem because I'm smoking. He tells me if you don't quit smoking, like in the 6 months rate, you might have a serious problem. And I don't quit smoking. This is the risk culture and the risk appetite of a person. So remember that not everybody out there will understand what you are saying. That's what I'm saying that. Because there are some people that they don't plan anything for the future. So they are not our potential clients. That's what I've told you, that we have to have more than we need. So we can choose who are the right person to discuss, because some persons, they are not meant to plan for the future. Are we okay with this so far? Now, with the people that we see that they have the common sense to discuss with us, when we finish the presentation, you have to make it an art. You have to be the best on that, not to ask for referrals, but to give the opportunity to the people that they love to have the same information as they have. This is the change of power of position, because in our industry, most managers trained us in the past and even now to go and ask for referrals. That's not bad, but it's not the best. what we do is we are not asking referrals for us. We say, you see the value, tell me, who do you love the most to have the same value as you? So we are now in the position of strength. We are not asking something, we are offering something. Is this clear? So with this mentality, you have to go out to the client, make the presentation the best you can, and every day, every week, every month, you will be better and better in the presentation, the use of the software and all that. And we can make like role plays and whatever in order for you to be the best in the use of the software, because it's not only the technical part, it's how you make the question, what's your mentality, your mindset, how do you have your passion, your enthusiasm. And at the end of every first presentation, I will offer this to the client. So the discussion is this, and I want you to be the best on that. You say to the client, what we did, Mr. Client, Mr. Prospect, is it useful and necessary for you to know all that? And he says, yes, it is. If he says, yes, it is. So if it's useful and necessary for you, is it useful and necessary for everybody? And they say, yes. So now I want to think hard, because I cannot handle more than 4 persons. I want you to think who you love the most, and you give them the opportunity to have an appointment free of charge with me, and I will make the assessment for them also, in order for them to be in a position to know what you know, but specially tailor-made for them, in order to make decision about this very important matter. Because otherwise, imagine, and you can imagine also, because you have people that you haven't spoken yet, like from your network, from your friends, right? So imagine like a friend of yours, Day or Christopher, to come to you on a wheelchair, and they say, I had a terrible accident and I am disabled now. And I learned from an advisor that I could handle this risk with a disability insurance and I could survive. And now I cannot even survive financially. But if I knew that there is a risk like that and a clever solution like that, I might have done that. So this is your responsibility, Mr. Client. We don't want your people not to know the risk and not be able to control them. If they know the risks and they want to take the risk and not cover them, it's their own choice. But if they don't know, it's our responsibility. So let's give them the opportunity to know what you know and have the chance to make right decisions about this matter, and then it's their responsibility. Do you agree with me? Can you find a reason not to give me a referral?
Actually, with Christopher, we had experience of that. We had a meeting with one of his referrals, and like 2 weeks after, he got killed.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. I don't know if you want to share with us your thoughts about this, Chris.
Yes, sure. Well, it was really strange at the beginning because we were experiencing, well, he was a friend. He was very young. He was about 23 years old, and he was just starting his professional life, and he was in debt because he was starting his own personal businesses and, you know, everything that every 23-year-old wants to do when they're very young.
Sure.
So I offered him our services. At the beginning, he sounded kind of convinced, but not totally. He even spoke to his parents to check with them if he was taking the right choice. And at the end of everything, the deal didn't come through. However, he did say something that right now he wasn't in a position to take this kind of engagement because he was just starting his professional life. And I totally understood that, because at his age, I bought the same insurance from the Ruco here. He's the one that sold my insurance policy. And I know what it was like when I was 23 years old, a lot of uncertainty, you know?
Sure.
But 2-3 days later, that weekend, a friend sent me a message because I was going to have a meeting with one of his best friends, literally one of his closest friends from childhood. He told me, hey, I cannot take your call right now because our friend just got killed. And I was like, what? It's like, I just spoke with him 4 days ago. So obviously I investigated, and it was totally random. guys pulled on the street, fired a semi-automatic onto two guys on the street, just because they were sitting in their car, and one of them was my friend. So I was like, shit. That's when I told Torruco, like, well, this feels like, what if, like, the first question is, what would have happened if he had taken the insurance? How would that have changed? Like, he won't get his life back, but that would have made a difference to their family. Because
did you have a wife or
no,
kids? No.
No, he was very young, but it was interesting because he even spoke to his parents. He even talked to them about protecting himself for the future. And 4 days later, he was not there with us, and it was a really strange feeling. I was hoping I could have done more or could be more convincing. But something that you've said is that it's not our decision. We're just telling them what the risks are. We're just telling them what they can do. It's their decision if they do something about it. It's like, we cannot convince that part of that other person. Not everybody is planning ahead, and not everybody is seeing the risks. And well, I'm really like, I'm sometimes I get annoyed, and I don't understand why the Mexicans in particular, they don't see into the future when they live in one of the most dangerous countries in the world. It's like,
It's not Mexican soul, it's a global problem.
yeah, so it's annoying because every day I hear somebody got killed. Every day I hear somebody got something happened, and the streets are not safe in Mexico. I know that in some other countries they are a lot safer and the risk is a lot less, but here in Mexico, like, the clients don't seem to care about this part. Many of them believe that they have more expensive things to pay for a wedding, for a car, for a house. It's like, okay, but you're not taking that to your grave. So for once, and second, you won't be able to pay that house, that car, if you're not able to work. So why won't you buy yourself some insurance and take care of yourself? So that's something that's crossed my path, and everything that happened with this kid was like, okay, what if you've taken my advice? Everything would have been maybe not different, but your family would have received an amount which would have been beneficial to them at that moment to pay. And I might seem as a bit, I don't know what the word is, not sure. But when I talk about money and compare it to life, it's like, okay, yeah, it's money they would have received. It's nothing better than having your kid alive, but it would have still been of a lot of help for a lot of reasons.
Sorry to interrupt you, but the most important thing for him, unfortunately, it would be like a benefit for the people for their parents to take the money, but it's not the most important thing. Imagine if he was not killed and he, for some reason, become disabled. Now, he will not work for the rest of his life. He will not have income. He will be a very big burden for his family because they will need money to protect him and like make the home special for him to be able to survive in that home. And somebody has to make money for him. The state will not give him any like disability pension, and he will be not miserable only. He will feel a burden and he wouldn't find a way to survive for the rest of his life. So maybe, of course, I will tell you why people, they are not convinced. It's not our responsibility to convince them. It's our responsibility to inform them and advise them in the correct way. If we become better at convincing them, it's okay, because we can convince many people to do better for their own life. But don't be sad or angry with yourself that you didn't manage to convince them, because the human brain, and I will share something with you that I didn't have the intention to do, but I want you to understand something very specifically, that the human brain is made in that way, it's wired in that way, that we don't believe that something will happen to us. That's the problem. And that's something that we have to overcome. And I will tell you exactly why this is happening. So let's stick to the referrals, that we need to convince our people that we made the first presentation in the software with them, that it doesn't cost nothing. In a different situation, it must have paid that for something for this assessment, because we give them so much information. And it's not that we are proposing something for their people to buy. We're proposing only to be informed properly and to make a risk assessment properly. So I cannot find any reason, I tell this to the client, why you will not want to give this opportunity to your own people. That's the way I'm handling the objections and the referrals. Tell me one reason that you don't want to do it. And I can tell you what the objections are in most times, and then we'll go to the neuroscience. Some people say, okay, but you do that to sell, right? They might think that. You say, okay, you make the assessment, but eventually you want to sell something, right? And he says, I've heard that from a client, that he was like more eager to tell me that he was more truthful to me. And I said, yes, I do want to sell something to him, but not quite as you say that. At the same time, a doctor, like he wants to sell medicines, or he wants to sell practice, or he wants to sell surgeries. No, I want to collaborate with your friends and you. I am an advisor, I am a scientist, I know the problem, I want to try to convince you about the problem and give you the solution. If you think that you don't have a problem, we don't have anything to say more. If you think that you have a problem and the solution that I'm providing is not the best, that's okay also. But I really try to convince you that there is a problem. You have to admit although, and I'm trying to convince you that's the best solution. And yes, I want to collaborate with you only, again, if you find the problem and you find the solution best. My intention is to work with you, but I want to be your advisor and you to be happy with this and feel more safe and take great measures to protect your life. So if this is the case, let's work together. If you don't think that it's not the case, so if you don't think what we did is useful and necessary, I don't want you to recommend it to anybody. But if you feel that it's useful and necessary for the people to tell, I have a vision that every Mexican guy should know that. So give them the opportunity to have their own opinion about that, and they can decide if they want to go further, because this is for free. It's a free assessment. Now, tell me a reason why you don't want to recommend that to your own people that you say that you love. Can you understand the thinking around that? And mostly not the thinking only that you will express how you should feel about that. I don't take no for an answer if I give something so valuable and he cannot convince me that this should not be recommended. I don't take a no for an answer. I ask him really. When you are, and I don't know that you should do now in this phase of your career, because maybe you don't have like the authority. After maybe some months or years that you will be also more self-confident, even more self-confident, you can use like more aggressive tactics, in a good way aggressive. So I tell you, I'm not leaving if you don't give me a reason why you don't think that your loved ones should know all this. Tell me a reason. If you tell me a reason, I will stop. If not, I have the vision that I can inform every Mexican guy. If you convince me that I should not insist, I will stop, but convince me. Do you take but this is my reality. It's not selling. This is how I feel. My vision is to go together with to have an appointment with every Mexican consumer, give them the assessment, and then they can decide if insurance is the best way to deal with this. If not, they cannot buy. I don't care. I will lose my time. No worries, because I know that if I speak to 10 people, 7 of them, they have the common sense to understand that this is the best way. 3 of them, they might not. I don't care. I will do my business, but I will have the pleasure that I inform them properly. I made the risk assessment. I gave them valuable and useful information, and I know now that it's their responsibility. Are you following me on this? Now, let me share something that's not for prospecting. I was not supposed to. Maybe we have discussed that. Victor, can you give me like permission to share the screen? Just to know something and not be annoyed, as you said, that people, they are not taking your advice. We have something very difficult to understand, and it's very important, because most of the time we are not feeling well with our profession, or we are having difficulties because we are being sensitive about why people reject our ideas. So let me just tell you, have we ever discussed about these 6 brain functions, Victor? No. Okay. So this is a neuroscience research about how the human brain works around risk. So we have 6 brain functions that does not allow the people to understand and accept the risk. So if I don't understand and accept the risk, I don't want to find any solution about that, because I don't believe that I have a problem. It's like the alcoholic guy that if you don't convince him that he has a problem, he will not go to like somewhere to be right, to be okay. So that's the thing with the clients. So why people, they don't understand risk? So the first thing is that unfortunately our profession and our industry has a bad image, sometimes for good and sometimes for not good reasons. We as an industry, we as a profession, we didn't have always the best professional to represent us. So they made some damage in our image, in our society. That's why people, they have some bad image about our profession. So this is not a good thing to start. If you are just saying, as you tell me day before that I am an advisor in the insurance industry and I have a bad image about that, if you say just some general things, I will not listen to you because I have what they say confirmation bias. I know something and I interpret anything I hear through this image. So you cannot convince me easily if you don't provide me a fresh approach that I will understand the benefit. So that's why we are very important to understand and to be able to communicate the benefit. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you have to know that there is a function of the brain called optimistic bias. What does this mean? This means that our brain is wired in a way to protect us to survive. In order to survive, one of the functions is to protect us from pain. And fear is pain for the mind. It's painful for the mind. So if I go to a person and ask him if he is in a risk of something, anything, his brain becomes over-optimistic at once because he tries to protect him. And the thing that he's thinking inside him is, this is not going to happen to me. I don't want to believe that something will happen to me. And you can see that from your own life. Have you ever taken risk believing that this is not going to happen to me? For me, let's say that I am speaking for all this. In Greece, when I was back in Greece, now in the USA, I cannot do that. I was driving my motorcycle without a helmet. That's crazy. Everybody is telling me that I have to have. I've seen people like in the hospitals being disabled because they didn't have helmets. But every time, it's more important for me like to feel the air in my head or whatever. And I don't believe that I will crash, because if I believe that I will crash, I would wear the helmet. But the human mind does not believe that something will happen to me. So that's why we have to be patient with the clients. We have to make them admit the risk as we are using the software in a way without not fear. And also, we cannot convince everybody. That's the thing. That's why our profession is a matter of numbers. You have to see many clients in order for them to decide, some of them to proceed with that. Some of them, they will decide later, and some of them, they will never decide that. So that's why it's a number of game, not because you are not good convincing people. It's not the human brain and their culture is not like aligned with a thing to understand the risk. Now, when you have somebody that he will like the software, he will understand the risks, and you take referrals from him, then the most probable thing is that the people around him to have the same culture. So if you are taking referrals from some people, the next people that you will meet, they might be good clients. So you are penetrating in a better market that way. Are you with me on that? So that's why referrals using the software is very important. Also, there is another study, a research, that says that every human brain has a fear tolerance limit. He can handle fear up to a point. If the fear is very big, he cannot handle that, and then he freezes inside. You see, it's like the animals. Have you ever seen like a rabbit or a deer in front of the tow lights of a car in the night, that you can put the lights in front of him and he freezes in front of the car? Have you ever heard this story? So the same is with people. If we use too much fear in order to consult them, and that's, you have to be very careful about that. Some brains can handle that and some other cannot. And this is the majority of the brains that they cannot handle the fear. So if we use too much fear, like you're going to die, you're going to be disabled. You see my friend 23 and he was like killed. He didn't understand that in Mexico it's very dangerous. If we use this kind of tactics to convince people, some of them will understand and they can make something about that. Most of them, they will freeze and they don't want to hear you. They don't want to take the message because they cannot handle the message. And also they will not want to see you again because you will be a scary person for them. Do you get me on that? That's why in the software, we are using this animation, the iPhone, we are using to change the questions. And I will say only one example. Let's say for the temporary work disability, that's the first risk that you assess. You don't say to a client, you know, you might have a terrible accident and you will be in bed like after the accident for 1 year, you will not have income and you will not have a way to survive. This is not a good way to put the risk. That's why we change that and we say, do you see Ifan? He has a power cut and he cannot like work for a period of time. Do you think this is possible for a person to happen, to have an accident, let's say, and be out of work like for 2 or 3 months, even a year? And the people say yes, because now they're not admitting that something will happen to them. They are admitting that it's just a possibility out there for this risk to happen. And then we turn this to him, like to see what is the financial consequences if this happened to him. But we are not trying to scare him that he will have this accident. Do you get me on that? So don't use too much fear in your consultancy. Also, the human brain, as you said, Christopher, he prefers the benefit now of purchasing a better car or put like better tires in his car or have a better party or better vacation or whatever, than to have a benefit in the future that is theoretical. Because sometimes we say to the client, you have to be insured because in the future you might die or you might be disabled, and then the claim will come and will give you the money to be saved. And the human brain says, with the optimistic bias, and if I don't die, if I don't become disabled, what happens? I lose my money. That's what the human brain thinks. So we have to explain the benefits for the future, but also give him benefits now. And we will have a special like webinar on that, how you can make him feel that if he's a person that he wants to plan his life in advance and he wants to make the better decision for him and his family and have a self-esteem that he take the best decision around his responsibilities, because he's a good parent, he wants the best for his children, he's working like hell every day in order to give them the opportunity to study, to go to universities, to survive, to have a quality life, but he doesn't want to believe that something might happen to him. So let's admit the risk and take the best decision. And when you take the decision, today you will feel your self-esteem like it's growing. Today you will have peace of mind that your family is okay. And this peace of mind, it's going to be something that is going to benefit your life today, not if the claim comes. Now, if the claim comes, then it's going to be the absolute moment for insurance. But be happy and be proud and have a huge self-esteem that you made the right decision for your family today, and feel nice about that, have peace of mind around that, believe in yourself that you made the right decision, and feel better about yourself buying insurance now. Be happy that you have an asset, because insurance is an asset. It's like the most clever way to have money for a need, because let me tell you how the market works. If I am like an entrepreneur and I want a loan, I don't know how do you say that in your language, an open loan, like I have an open account like for $100,000. I might need them or I might not need them. It's not I'm taking a $100,000 loan. I'm having an open account there that I can take as a loan whenever I want, and I can put it again inside. When I go there, in order for me to be sure that I will have the liquidity to buy products and continue my company, I pay around 3 to 5% of this 100,000, like 5,000 a year, in order to be able to have an open account to take these 100,000. And if I take them, I have to give them back. So I pay 5% of this amount in order to have the possibility to take it. And if I take it, I will own it again to the bank. In insurance, you pay $1 in order to have $1,000 of coverage. And if you use this money, you don't owe that to the company. So it's the most clever way to have money like without having money for needs. So it's the most clever investment that you can take. So it's an asset because you are putting like $1,000 in the insurance industry and you have an asset of $1 million like for you there. Only it's for a need. So can you understand how clever it is for you to put only $1,000 to have 1 million for you? And if you use them, you don't owe them to anyone. And as many times as you use them. and when exactly the time you need them. So is this a clever investment or not? Is it like you are having a house, like you have a house, you paid like many times in a loan. It has some expenses to keep it right, like when you need. And it provides you a safety to leave something inside. Insurance is the same thing. You have an asset. You own this asset. It's the most clever asset. So see that asset like an asset that it is, not like an expense. So we have to change the thing, the way that consumers, they are seeing what is an insurance. It's not an expense. It's not something that they need to pay without wanting that. It's something that they will pay. It's the best decision to protect what they are working already to survive their family, to give them a quality life or whatever. It supports this cause. It's the most clever investment that they can make, and they have to be happy buying that today, not if the claim comes. Are you with me on that? So this is all because we are trying to beat this monster of the brain, the instant gratification monkey. So if I make him feel that he has benefits now I can compare the happiness to make the right decision with a better vacation. And I can choose that over the vacation. Let's say, if I just putting my arguments in the future, there is no comparison. So he will prefer like believing also that it will not happen, believing also that he might freeze out of fear because he doesn't want to listen to what you say, and he prefers the benefit now. So let's change the way we present insurance. And also, we have to give the information to the client in a way that he can process them and make a decision if we want to make the decision in the first appointment. But again, you have a person like 30 years old, 23 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, it doesn't matter, that all his life, he has a different perception of insurance. He might hear from his friend that another insurance advisor was a fraud and he didn't give him the money back. It's not a reality, let's say, most of the times. It's a misunderstanding. He hears that insurance is not needed. Insurance is, you cannot trust insurance. He hears all that. So in 40 minutes, what you are trying to do is change what he knows about insurance, make him make a decision to pay for insurance for the rest of his life without considering benefits now. Can you imagine how difficult it is? And I'm saying that in order for you to understand, it's not an easy job to do. It's a great miracle when you make some people decide to do that. And some other people, they need time to think about that. They need to consider that. So we don't have to be in a rush every time. We need to be convincing. We need to try to convince them in the first appointment. But if we don't, it's not something that we have a problem. It's not that it's something easy and we cannot achieve it. It's difficult. And you have to see many people to open many opportunities and close the ones that they have mind on their heads. Okay, on that? Because the brain has a function called homeostasis that hates change. So that's why we cannot change habits so easily. So at the same time, the brain hates the change of opinion. He prefers to believe something and not change that. So now with Irma, we are trying to reverse all this negative chain reaction and start from giving them an approach that can prove the added value into something different. So we beat the number one. We make him admit that there is a risk with different questions. We don't use fear so he doesn't freeze. We give him benefits now. We transfer the information in a step-by-step methodology that the software leads you how to make the questions. And then we have far more better chances to make him change an opinion. But we cannot do it for all. We will have better results, not absolute results. So I'm telling you all this for two reasons. First, to be patient, because it's not something easy that we ask the client. And I remember I recruited also a client of mine when I was a unit manager back in 2002. When he was my client, I tell him everything. I was very convincing, very passionate. And at the end, he says, let me think about it. I say, okay, think about it. After 1 week, I follow up. He think about it a little more, 2 weeks, and then he made the contract. After 2 years, he was my client. He became my advisor. He comes in the profession. He's going to his first appointment, and he comes back to the office very pissed. I thought, what happened? You know, I tell him everything, and he told me that you want to think about it. stop here. You remember yourself as a client. The first time I did tell you everything, you said, I have to think about it. You think about 2 weeks. So it's normal. Don't get pissed. Don't be disappointed. It's normal. So you have people that they decide quickly. You have people that they do not decide quickly and they need time. You have people that they will not have the culture to deal with this. So you don't want to deal with them. Then you have so many people. The one you need to do is constantly make presentation, be the best version of yourself, and then all the other is statistic success. Okay with that? So we need to desensitize, I don't know how to say, to take the emotion of the presentation. We have to be like entrepreneurs. Just everything is like a case. It's like for me be a surgery doctor, and if every time I'm worried about what will happen with if this guy dies, what the family will take, I cannot make a surgery because I will be very stressed. So we have to deal with everything like as a case. The same in our industry. Go there, be the best version of yourself, be enthusiastic, be passionate, be convincing, be able to handle objection, be better in closing, whatever you do, and you will be better every week, but you don't care if he closes or not. You will make your best effort, and then if he doesn't close, you will follow up when it's needed with a CRM, but then you go to the next occasion. And just as a team, discuss what we could do better, what we can say better, how we can handle him better, and every day become from your experience better, because the clever guys and clever girls are learning from their experience. Some people, they don't learn from their experience. And the wise guys, they are learning from the experience of others. So try to do that. Okay. Now let's go back to the prospecting things, because, and I'm making all this like parentheses, because if you don't understand why you're not closing, if you don't understand that it's difficult to change the mind of the client, you are disappointed with yourself. So we don't need that. You just need persistent, consistent, and just make what you do, and the results will come. It's absolutely sure that the results will come. They will not come if you quit or you have like low self-esteem or low self-confidence. But that the clients are not closing, it's not your responsibility always. It's the brain is wired, it's their culture, it's their experiences, it's the way they deal with life. And as better as you become, you will close more and more. But now, don't feel bad for yourself if you don't close. Okay. Now, let's go again to some prospecting ways. I'm discussing so much about the referrals in the first appointment because it's the best way to do that. So if you want, like we can discuss this with Toruko, we can meet again like after the MDR team meeting, because the next 2 weeks is like very difficult. And you can try, we will make a role playing, how you pitch the idea in the 5 minutes, the first 5 minutes, how you pitch the idea, how you make the discussion about the risk. But the most important thing, when you reach to the end of the software, how you take referrals. If you are convincing, how you ask the referrals, how you handle objection. And I can tell you now how you can handle this objection. Let's say who wants to be like the advisor, and I will be the client. Who is a volunteer to be like the advisor? I see many smiles, no hands.
Okay, who wants? I can do it, but I prefer to someone.
Yeah, I
someone
prefer
else.
someone else.
Maybe okay. Maybe
we won't do something very difficult.
Lord closes. Lord of the closes. Okay.
Who is the Lord of the closes?
Christopher.
Okay, Christopher. So let's say you ask me for the referrals, and you tell me that you find it useful. Yes, I find it useful. Do you want to offer this? Yes, I want to offer this. But I'm telling you, okay, let me ask them first if they want to be like concerned, and I will come back to you. What would you tell me?
Okay. Well, you thought that this information is useful and you believe that every single Mexican should hear this information. What is stopping you from giving this same information to a loved one, someone that could use this information and know the risks? I believe I believe that everybody should know these risks. Tell me a reason why they shouldn't and why you shouldn't recommend it.
I tell you that I will tell them and I will come back.
Okay.
I really mean it. I will tell them that I see something useful, and I will tell them to communicate with you, or I will tell you, call them.
I don't know what I would do there.
I'm telling you because this is the most common
Yes.
objection when you deal with this, and you will have to find a way to do it. So I won't take more of your time. I will tell you what I think is the best answer on that, and I'm telling you, okay, that's perfect, fine with me. If I were in your like shoes, I would do the same thing. I would love to inform them first before receive a call from me. But let me tell you something that I know from experience. We are now here and we are discussing this important matter. Okay, we are focused on that. Me also, and of course you, the next day will be in our regular life and we will forget about that. And some of the times we will not give the opportunity because we will forget, not because we don't believe that it's useful, we will forget. So what do you say to combine this? Let's just discuss now who are these 3 or 4 people that you love the most, that you want to inform them. I will make a notice. You will tell them whenever you want that you see something useful. Before that, I will not call them. And then if somebody of them tells you that I don't want to receive a call, just call me and tell me this guy doesn't want to be informed. How do you feel about that? So let's find who they are. Let's take a notice. I will not call them for the next month because also I don't have time. In this month, tell them, 1 month is enough to tell them that you see something very useful and necessary. So tell them. And if they are okay for me to call, I will call them after a month. If they are not okay, just give me a call and tell me, don't call like Victor. That's the first thing. And the second thing that I can do to help is I can send you an email describing what we did together, and you can forward this email to your contacts in order for them to be informed what we did. So they can understand if it's valuable or not. And then you can tell me again if they want to hear about that or not. So do you think we should find who they are in order not to lose the opportunity and have the time to inform them whenever you want? So try to do that. Try to take the names, because if you don't take the name, you cannot bring them again in the emotional situation to understand that it's very important. So they will think about referrals. So tell them, let's do it now that we are here and focus on that, because tomorrow we will forget that. Let's find who are the people that you love. You inform them first, or tell me if you want me to send you an email to forward to them. And in a month from now, tell me if they want to hear about that or not. Is this okay with you? This is something that you can use when somebody tells, let me inform them first, because it's normal for the people to want, because people, they are afraid of their reputation. So what they are afraid is somebody call them and say, like, Christopher, why you give my name to Victor? You didn't ask me. Some other people have more self-confidence. If you ask me now, if I know that something is good and I know that we don't have time, I will give as referrals as I want. And I don't care what people will call me and tell me. If somebody call me and tell me, why you give me your name? Okay, come on. I won't say the word. I did give it because I thought that it was useful. Okay, you received a phone call. He didn't call. He didn't kill you.
Don't give a shit.
Yeah. Okay. But this is me. It's not everybody like that. And this is me now. If you ask me for referrals when I was 22, I might consider again differently. Now I have this self-confidence. So try to engage them, to find some names, because if you believe really that's very important, we won't have the opportunity to forget that. We will know the things. I will write them down. I will put them in my software, and I will remind you if you manage to talk to them or not. Or after a month, I can call them. So that
I used to do that, and when some clients told me that, I ask only for the names. I told the client, okay, if it is the way you manage the thing, it's okay. Just please find 3 people in your mind and tell me the names. I just will write the names, and as soon as we reach the second meeting, I will ask you again. Okay, you told me you told me those 3 names. Now you chat with them or something. Now you can give me the numbers, and with that strategy, the customers, I think the customers feel a little less stressed. And then in the second appointment, they will give at least one number. So that's like a good deal for me.
And also something that is very important, if you see them be hesitant to give some names and they think about it a lot, then they might not be convinced that it's something useful. So you can ask them again. I don't want to pressure, but do you really think that it's useful? And if yes, why do you think that's useful? Let them say why they think that it's useful, because if they say it's more important for the mind and they cannot accept it more than you say that. So do you really believe that it's useful? If you don't believe, I don't want to pressure you to do anything. But if you really believe that this can save lives, let's think hard about that together. Let's make him part of our vision. Our vision as you are the first IFAs in Mexico, is that every consumer, every Mexican family should have a risk assessment and a free diagnosis. After, it's their responsibility, but give them the opportunity to know, to have the power of knowledge. That's the first part. Okay. Try to work on that. Try to make it part of your life. Try that in the market, make role playing together, how you are asking for the referrals, and also try to handle some objections that you will deal with in the market, in the real market, or that you will make up, and make objection handling together, role playings. So let's meet after 20 days or whatever, and let's make role playings. Let's see how you ask, how you present that, how you have the self-confidence, in order for you to be better and better. And we can do that every other, once a month or whatever. And you can do it more often as you as a team.
Sure.
If you practice, you will make it. It's like, do you know the 300 Spartans, the movie, the 300 with Leonidas? Do you know why the Spartan warriors was the most perfect military from the ancient years until now? They have three things. The one was they practiced from when they were children. They start practicing war from 4 years old and practice every day. So that's what you have to do. If you want to be the best advisor, the best fighter in Mexico, you have to practice. If you're just waiting to take the experience for the market, you're going to go slow. You're going to go, but slower. If you practice every day, make role playing with yourself in the mirror, together as a team in the market, then you will be so much experienced that you will be full of self-confidence and the client cannot resist you. That's the one thing. The second was innovation, because the Spartans, they have invented a metal that can penetrate the shields of the others. So they had the advantage. So that's what we have also. We have innovation, we have science, we have technology. Use it. Be able to make them believe that we have innovation, because that's the truth. Be able to describe it in the right way, to explain the benefits. So we have the innovation. And the other is the way they fight. They had a formation called phalanx that with their shield, they have to cover themselves, but the soldier, the fighter in the right. So they will become something that nobody can penetrate. So that's, you have to do that as a team. Be the one for another, be a team. You have a great leader, Victor, that he's very open-minded. And I can say that not because he's here, because Victor knows me, because he was searching for a mentor. That means that he's always searching to see how he can develop from MDRT. We met in MDRT because he made an application how I can have a mentor. So even a manager that he has great results, he's also searching for better ways. So you, with a great leader and you as a team, having a shield, protect yourself and your fellow fighter in the left. So how you protect? Make exercise. Who are in the better psychology, come here and give us a boost to all the others, and protect the clients also. Have a better why, a very strong why. Get out of them and don't take no for an answer. Don't take no to make an assessment. Don't take no to give the opportunity to him to do that to his family or his friends or his loved ones or whatever. Don't take no for an answer. And if you take, don't care, go on the next client. Now that's the framework. Just 2 more ways to prospect, and then we can do all the others on another meeting. The one is, are you working already with center of influences, as we say? Have you ever discussed about this way?
No, centros de influencia. No.
So there are some people in your network that they have a lot of people that they know for some reason. because they have the profession like that, because they are like whatever. You can convince them, you can approach them in order to give them a presentation, not to close them as clients only, to tell them that I have an innovative way that can help the society, and I want to present this to you, and you will tell me if this is something that you want to propose that to your network. Like, he might be a lawyer, he might be an accountant, he might be like a business consultant, he might be a salesman in another like industry or whatever. But the result is that he have a lot of people that he knows. It's not like somebody, he's a family man, he knows his friends and his family, or 50 people, 20 people. These guys, an accountant might have like 500 clients, or a lawyer the same, or like another the same. So go and make a list of them if you have, or you will create, make a list of these guys that they are having many people that they know, make the people put an A grade for them that they have also influence, because also a doorman can know many people, like in a building. The doorman of a building might know all the people that they are living in the building. So my doorman in New York, we're having 27 floors, like with 20 people in every floor. So he knows 400 people, but he doesn't have the authority. But if he's his accountant or his lawyer or whatever, if he says something to them, that's why we call them center of influence. He has influence on them. So if you convince him that you have something that's worth spreading, then if he says something to a client, he will have a meeting with you. That's something just to start working on that. Also, two more ways that they are working on the symbol. The one is the digital part, and the one the actual part. So let's say Day. You know Victor, right? He's your manager, friend, whatever. Do you know do you know 3 people of his network, of his environment, of his, without even have to ask him? Do you know like he has a wife, her name? Do you know he has a colleague like Christopher? You know that he has a friend, I don't know who, you know that he has a brother? You know all that, right? So yeah. For some people, do you know already who they know, who their network? If you put in your mind a friend of yours, do you know his brother? Do you know his girlfriend? Do you know his colleagues in work? Do you know already some people in their surroundings?
Yes.
Okay. So what you can do is this. In the physical way, write a list of all the people you have like a good relationship with them. And don't wait to go on, make a presentation if you can, or if you have already did, it's good. And put a circle on that and say, I know that Victor has his wife, I know he has his brother, he has his friend, he has his colleague, and find 4 people that you know that they know already. And you can schedule 1 phone call every week to them. And I call Victor or I call Day and I say, you know, Day, I know that you know Victor, like Christopher and Alejandro. Can you give me their phones, because I have this great like software that I can make them, and I want to present them because I think it's a great opportunity for them. So this way it's working, because you are not asking for a referral to imagine who you want to cover. It's the way you are asking. So I know that you know these guys. Can you please, do you have any objection to give me their telephone in order to propose them this and explain what this is this? It is very easy for them to say yes. So if you put in the list 10 people that they know 4 people, it's 40 people. If they call them, 7 out of them, if they give you these 3 referrals without even asking for referrals, it's like 30 a week. So if you can find 30 new referrals a week, it's 120 a month. So it's a big number of new prospects. How do you feel about this way?
Okay, I didn't think about it before, but it sounds really positive.
I want you, when I present a way, to tell me your objections. I would do that or I will not do that. Because if you are planning to do that, then the flight from USA in Mexico is 5 hours. I will come and fight you if you don't do it. It's okay. It's only 5 hours from New York. Okay. If you say yes, if you say no, I don't like it, okay, don't do it. Do we have this agreement?
Yep.
Because you have a huge responsibility here. You are the first IFAs and you have to prove that you are the better advisors in the world. Just kidding. So
yeah, we are, and we're gonna be.
You have a question? Yes.
I think that
You have to close one of the microphones.
it's now it's better.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm thinking is it's a good advice that, and we have a meeting, I think 2 weeks ago with some customers, and we just give them 2 or 3 minutes in order they share some names, and then we do these questions. I said to this was one of my friends, so I said, what about your brother? What about your sister's boyfriend? So we get a lot of names in the end. But I think it's a good idea. But maybe we can just wait 1 or 2 minutes in order they give us some names, and then we ask the ones that we want.
You are absolutely right. The only difference that I'm proposing here is not to take these referrals in a meeting. You take them from phone. So you just like put 50 people that you have like good relationship, and you do that for the next like 4 weeks or 8 weeks, the next 2 months. So for these people, you will take easily from the phone, like 3 numbers, so you can have 200 new clients in 2 months. So it's going to be your first source of clients. Then you make appointment with them. You take referrals in the first appointment with each of them, and then you continue to have more prospects. That's a good move to do that from the phone, because if you just waiting to make an appointment, it might be late, like when you feel it. But if you have like 50 people that you have good relations, do that from the phone. Or if they want to know what you will propose to them, tell them. It's something that you should be interested in also. Let's make a Zoom to tell you what I'm doing, and then give me their phone calls in order to call them. That's the one thing. Now, another thing that you can do in a digital way, it's 2 things. Before you go to a client to make a presentation, first, second, or whatever, closing, whatever, don't ask for names, give them names. Can you imagine how? Before you go, I will tell you, because we don't have a lot of time, go to their social media accounts, find with who they interact more, see who is commenting on their post, who is liking their post most, find 3 or 4 of them, and when you go to the presentation, the first appointment, except from expecting for them to remember who they want to give you as the referrals, tell them, I saw on your Facebook that you are good friends with him and her. Do you think that I can call them in order to give them a presentation to give you the value of this assessment? It's very easy for the mind, if you ask something specifically, to say yes, comparing to just to try to think who they want to give you. So do you find it useful?
Yes.
If you have any objections, Christopher, Dia, or Alexandro, whatever, you can tell it. But do you think that before you go to a client, you can go to his social media and find what his friends are?
Yes.
And a last thing, and let's close with that, because we'll have other ways to prospect in another meeting, is that you can use social media in a different way. So now I have like a client or a friend or whatever, Victor, and I have him as a friend in Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, whatever. So what I did for many years is, like, when the social media was like very trendy, and now Facebook is outdated, Instagram is more like trendy or whatever, I did that. I was choosing 10 contacts of my social media a day that I know them well and I have a good relationship. I'm sending to Victor, let's say Victor is one of them. I'm sending a message, hi Victor, how are you? Long time no see, or whatever. He says, Panos, how are you? And I'm writing them. I want something very easy for you that you can benefit many people. So I know, and I have already been in his social media account and see that he has friends with Alejandro, with Day, and Christopher. And I'm telling you, would you have any objection to make a 3-way chat with Christopher, another with Day, and another with Alejandro in that way? You know how to make a group chat in social media, you know, of course, right? Okay. So I am making a group chat, me, Victor, and Alejandro. Me, another one, me, Victor, and Day, and another one, me, Victor, and Christopher. In every case, I'm writing, I am Panos, I'm a friend of Victor, I have a great risk assessment software that can give you great benefits. And I propose, if you want to have a 10 minutes Zoom meeting, just to explain what the software can do for you. If you agree that's valuable, then we can have like a second meeting, like with more time. But the first will be like from Zoom in 10 minutes only. And I asked Victor, the only thing I want from you is to write, yes, Alejandro or Christopher or they, I know Panos, he's like having something that you have to see, just make this appointment. So if you do that every day for 10 contacts and you make with every contact 3 three-way chats, then you have approached like, if 7 of them, they say yes, because 3 of them, they will say no, not make the three-way chats. Then you will have 3 multiplied by 7, 21 chats a day. 5 working days, it's like 100 chats. 4 weeks a month is 400 chats. So you will reach 400 people, friends of your friends in the social media. If only 20% of them, they say, yes, let's make a 10 minutes Zoom, it's 80 appointments. And if from 80 appointments, you can make 40 normal appointments, only with that way that you need 45 minutes of your time, you will have 50 or 80 or whatever new appointments. So do you think you can do that in practice? I know that
Yep.
I'm just throwing ideas just to try. Don't do it with 10, do it with 2, do it with 5. Do it with 7, whatever, but just start trying new things. The secret here is to do it daily, to do it consistently. And also we have an advantage that we are not saying that I want to sell insurance or I want to have an in-person meeting with you 1 hour in your home, because people would be scared about that. But if we are proposing something that's innovative and only takes 10 minutes with the safety of Zoom and not have too much time to spend, they will accept more easily, because Victor will come, will transfer the trust, very important, because either way, if I send them a message, even if I mention Victor, they will not answer that. Now that Victor is in the three-way chat, they are more compelled to answer, because they will feel bad about Victor if they don't answer. Do you get the first part? So that's why you make a three-way chat in every one of them. The second is that you are proposing something new. You are not just an insurance salesperson. You have an 11 global awards software that can give them specific benefits. And the third secret is you are asking only for a 10-minute Zoom with Zoom, not an in-person meeting that they must be afraid. These 3 secrets can make people answer. And with this way, you can have like hundreds of new clients in the next month, because sometime you will not have so many contacts. Like even if you have like 5,000 contacts, the contacts that you can make this is like 500. But if you make like 1,000 new prospects from this way, 400 prospects from the other way, and you start making new appointments and be able to take new reference from every first appointment, now you will not need any other way to prospect. You will have many more than what you need. Are you okay with that? So yeah. The most important thing in every idea is the rule of 72 hours. If you don't do something about what you heard an idea in the next 72 hours, you will not do it eventually. So what I'm proposing is take these 3 things, put in your calendar how you are going to practice to be better in the software, how you can be better in asking for reference in the first appointment. Try to organize all these new 2 ways, find 10 people that you will know who they know and try to make some phone calls. And then also try to schedule how you can make that in social media. Start with that. In every first presentation, ask for referrals. Try to take referrals from the people you know, and in social media. And let's have like a meeting in 20 days from now and make role playings. And I will be the bad client making objections. And I will give you also the answers that I believe we can give. And also to be better in how we present the software, how we can pitch the idea, how we can make the risk assessment, how we take referrals in the first appointment, and how we can also handle any objection that we can hear out there, if we want to handle it. Because sometimes if we hear something that's crazy, my opinion is go. Don't try with some people that they are crazy. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your self-confidence. Don't waste like your energy with people that you will understand very early that they don't have like their minds in the right place. So any questions? Okay. So we will end every meeting that you are the best advisors. You have to find a way to prove it and go out in the market and have great results and be proud of yourself, make your manager proud, and go out and have the best results and make IFA proud also. Are you in with this vision?
Let's go. Panos, I don't know if you can, you want to share quickly the things that they are going to happen in August.
In August, what will happen?
The certification.
Yes. We will start not August, on September. We will start like, sorry, no, we will start in 15th of September. We will start a certification like a university that will have like one meeting like that every week, not only us. We will have like a lot of students, but we will have like 20 meetings like that we will learn how to use even better the software, how we can pitch the ideas, how we can handle objection, how we can close the sale, 14 ways to prospect, not only these 3 we discussed, how we can take advantage of our own clients and take referrals, how we can have time management systems, how we can use better the CRM system and have automations and save tons of times and not lose opportunities, how we can use internet marketing in order to find prospects and brand ourselves as ahead of the time, how even we will use virtual reality in order to make meetings. That's the last part. And we will have motivation, and we will have like from the half September, from 15 to 30, October and November, we'll have one webinar every week, 2 hours. We will stop for December because it's the closing of the year. We will continue from 15th of January until February. And again, the lessons. You will have an e-learning platform that you can see everything we say again and again if you want. And also after then, we will make some workshops in order to make role-playing case scenarios or whatever. And at the end of April, you will give your exams and you will be certified with this certification. Let me show you. As certified insurable risk managers. You will be certified like this. You will have this certification. So no, you will prove with a certification also that you are the best advisors in the Mexican market. You'll have a certification like this. So the most important is not the certification, is good to have it as a branding and that certifies that you know risk management, you are the best advisors, but also the things that you will know in all these 20 like webinars that you will know, it will, if you put them in practice, you will be better and better every day. So Victor will offer this certification to you that normally some other people will pay a lot for this. So this is on Victor.
What you think, guys?
Of course, I want it.
You want it? You didn't convince me.
I'm very interested. For example, I want to share a lot of me. I'm a circus artist. I'm interested into part of the security. We have a lot of risk every day, every time just training onto presentations for living. For achieve that goals, I need to put a lot of risk on my person and a lot of people. So this is a very interesting topic on me, and I want to express all the culture of security in also personal life and financial life to have a good lifestyle. So this is important to me to know a lot more about security. So for me and for the people I love and for the people in general, I think it's a very, 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 very part and so important that we have to take care about.
That's better. Just kidding you. Okay, we will be the best team in Mexico. I just have to leave you now because we're 30 minutes more that we have planned. I have to travel to New York and to be able to go to the airport. And let's meet again very soon after the first days of July, maybe. Okay, and let's. Okay. And whatever you need, like you have Victor to answer, he will answer. He can ask me, and we can also have like some other meetings, like to be motivated, to know, have more knowledge, have more ways, and everything that will make you the best advisors. Okay.
Thank you very much, Panos, for your time, and have a nice trip back to New York.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And we'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Panos.
Bye-bye.
Gracias a todos, amigos.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Listo. Cuídense mucho.
Estuvo
Cuídense,
padre.
que tengan buen día a todos. Un abrazo.
Un abrazo. Bye.
Torru, espérame,
Yo.
Bye.
te robo.